All right, we're going to go through and I will demonstrate for you how to identify indirect objects. So we go back and we do all of the same steps that we did for a direct object. So first thing you do is identify prepositional phrases, and none of these sentences have prepositional phrases or infinitives. Okay, the second thing you do is identify your subject. Karen is a subject. Okay, and then you identify your verb. You have your verb here is made. Identify the type of verb. It's an action verb. Okay, so we have our subject and our verb, and now we have to ask a question. This is very important. Karen made what? Karen made who? Well, the answer to that question is a pizza. And remember that your direct object always comes at the very end, and your indirect object comes in between the direct object and the verb. All right. Karen made what? A pizza. For whom? For Keith. So Keith is the indirect object. Pizza is the direct object. All right, let's do another one. Identify your subject. Mrs. Johnson is a subject. Assigned is the verb. Identify the type of verb. It's going to be an action verb. Then you ask your sentences. Mrs. Johnson assigned what? Grammar problems. So actually, technically, problems would be your direct object. To whom? So you say Mrs. Johnson assigned 10 grammar problems to whom? To the class. And the class is the indirect object. So the indirect object is always found before the direct object, usually closer to the verb. All right, let's do another one. Rhett gave the dog a bone. Rhett is the subject. Gave is the verb. Okay, identify the type of verb. It is an action verb. Rhett gave what? He didn't give the dog. Rhett gave a bone. So bone is the direct object. Okay, Rhett gave the bone to whom? To the dog. Not the dog, just dog. Okay. And the last one, Mom read Sandy a book. Mom is the subject. Read is the verb. Read is an action verb. Mom read what? A book. A book is the direct object. To whom? To Sandy. That is the indirect object. Before we move on, I want you to look and study this and see the pattern. We always have subject, action verb, indirect object, direct object. That's how you can identify indirect objects. Always follows an action verb. Indirect object comes between the verb and the direct object.